Okay, the group that you see before you is our 9th through 12th grade wind ensemble. The first piece we played for you is pretty self-explanatory, the clapping song. It involves clapping. Sometimes music is what it is. Okay, our next song is a piece entitled Melodious Thunk. Thunk can be a noun or a verb. Definitions: as a noun, an abrupt, flat, hollow sound. As a verb, to produce an abrupt, flat, or hollow sound. Also as a verb, it's the colloquial past tense and past participle of think. Melodious Thunk was inspired by the famous jazz pianist Thelonious Monk. Monk's wife, Nellie, nicknamed him Melodious Thunk because of his clunky, awkward, and brilliant piano playing. Our piece samples a fragment of the famous Dizzy Gillespie tune, Salt Peanuts. And in this song, we have one soloist, Jermaine Nichols, on clarinet. piece is a very famous Irish folk song, or actually Scottish folk song, entitled Loch Lomond. If any of you have ever seen or read the book Outlander, the Loch Lomond was actually written during that war between the Scottish and the English during that time. I'm not going to go into the whole backstory. It's actually really interesting. We did some research on it, and just kind of the whole backstory about two brothers, and one brother taking one road and the other soldier brother taking the other road. The famous chorus from this, or the poem, "Oh, you'll take the high road and I'll take the low road, and I'll be in Scotland afore ye. But me and my true love will never meet again on the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond." Our piece also, besides Loch Lomond, has the very famous Irish song put in there, Danny Boy, as well. We have two soloists in this piece. We have Jimmy Nichols again on clarinet and Isabella Rigger on piccolo. We're going to change things up here just a little bit. We were a little bit slower, more melodic at that tempo. We're going to go a little bit into a song called Go Gallop. This song was written by Henry Fillmore, and it is a march. However, unlike John Philip Sousa marches, which are very kind of militaristic and used for more pomp and circumstance, Henry Fillmore wrote a lot of marches that were more circus-based. So they're a lot faster, more for show and entertainment, used out in, like I said, circuses, carnivals, and more upbeat type places that you would hear a march. So here's our piece, Go Gallop. Before we tackle our last song here, I'm going to give them actually a little bit of a breather break after that song. So, in the winter time, we had a couple students audition for All-State Band, and we had two students that made it. We had Ethan Rich, who made All-State Senior Band. Ethan, stand up. And Alicia Rhoda, who made All-State Junior Band. Alicia, stand up. Give them a round of applause, please. Also, in this ensemble, we did have a couple students that also were in the Newcastle County Honor Band. If you were in the Newcastle County Honor Band for this same ensemble, can you please stand up? Also, in this ensemble, I'd like to have our seniors please stand and be recognized. Percussion, you can raise your hand in the back of your seniors. Thank you. I would also like to acknowledge, we have a person up here who is, as you can see, not a student. In the first part of the spring semester in February, we had with us Angelina Brenneman, who is a student teacher from the University of Delaware with us for the first 7 weeks of her rotation. And I actually phoned her up because we were going to be missing one of our tenor saxes today. I said, hey, can you fill in real quick for us on tenor sax? And so she was able to do that, but I do want to thank her for coming out and playing for us and recognize her as well. Angelina, you go stand up? She's got 3 more weeks, and then she goes off to become a real teacher herself. Wish her luck. Lastly, I would like to kind of acknowledge some wonderful happenings that have gone on. Most recently, 2 weeks ago, we had our indoor percussion and indoor color guard. We're the Region 9 champions at the Region Championships. So I want to give them a round of applause for that. In addition, this past weekend, the color guard and the percussion competed in the finals at Wildwood, New Jersey. And the color guard came in 9th out of 32 ensembles for their classification, which is a huge thing. And our indoor percussion, as you may have seen the post on the district today, that our indoor percussion, they won their 3rd championship in the past 4 years for best percussion in A class. In your programs, you'll notice that I put some upcoming dates that we have. I do want to make one change of note. Typically, we do have next week or the week after our spring concert, we usually have our annual Pops concert. We are actually kind of combining that this year with our awards ceremony. So our music awards ceremony on the 28th, will also feature our jazz ensemble starting that performance off that evening as well. But also, there's one thing that I did leave off there because of space. Our theater cabaret will be on Friday, May 30th at 7 o'clock p.m. So if you are interested in coming out, seeing our wonderful theater department perform several musical numbers and songs that they've been working on in kind of a very intimate setting on stage. It's a wonderful event. Again, that's Friday, May 30th at 7 o'clock if you want to come out to that event as well. All right, I think I've given them enough time to kind of rest up a little bit. So, without further ado, we started our school year this year with a marching band field show that involves a sailing voyage. So I only thought it fitting that we end our concert season this year with another sailing theme song. So we're going to do a symphonic suite from Pirates of the Caribbean. quick, I forgot to mention we had two soloists in there, Matthew McMahon on trumpet, and again, Jimmy Nichols on clarinet. I want to thank you all for coming out this evening and your support throughout this school year. We hope to see you at one of our future events before the end of the school year. Please drive safely and have a great night.